Another year, another stars that are retiring class. All premiership players and have achieved so much both individually and for the Sturt Football Club. Jake Sutcliffe, or Spoof, came back to the club in 2017 after a stint in the country where he was kicking goals for fun. An athletic forward with a booming left foot, he was a nightmare matchup for most backlines. Just ask Brad McKenzie in the 2019 elimination final, where he was almost unstoppable, or actually, just ask Jake himself, as I'm sure he'll be more than happy to get up the highlights. Spoof's commitment to his body could never be questioned, as it would always be seen in the gym shifting weights around. But what could be questioned was whether his upkeep of his body was for football purposes or to use it a night out on the ladies. Although his career didn't end up the way he would have liked, he's a forever part of the Sturt family and a Sturt premiership player, and no one can take it away from him. Jake has become a very close mate of mine throughout his time at footy club, and his charisma and charm will be sorely missed. I look forward to watching him kick a lot of goals to Spock in the future. Now, football is a funny place. If you said to me that I'd become best mates with a nerdy-looking, pro-environmentalist, does Zoom calls about where money comes from, and is obsessed with politics, I'd say you're dreaming. But here we are almost 10 years down the track, and I've made a lifelong in friend in Crocs, aka Dad. Dad has been a stalwart for the club and epitomises what a Sturt man represents. One of the more underrated players in the competition, he was certainly rated internally, and we one of the first picked every week. Dad has achieved so much in his football career: 150 games, 2 premierships, leadership honours, and many more. He is one of the most mentally tough, competitive players I have ever played with, and I mean that. I can't count how many times Crocs run past me in the game to try and help out the defence, saying, "Come on, Jim, keep going." What also makes Dad so special is his leadership both on and off the field, and he has left some massive shoes to fill in that regard. I could always count on Dad and get his opinion on matters, and he would always provide a mature and measured answer. Dad, the club is going to be a weird place without you next year, as I've only known it with you there. We are certainly going to miss you and your weird and funny ways. I wish you all your best for the future, and can't wait to continue our friendship long into the future.
So now I have the privilege to speak about Mark and Zane, 2 incredible players for this football club and incredible men that I have the privilege of calling friends. Much like Jim, for both these players, I won't speak on the obvious, but touch on things that may not be seen or completely understood outside the inner sanctum. Firstly, I'd like to speak about and congratulate Mark Evans on an incredible sample career. Mark has achieved what many dream of. I'm sure we'll see it on the screens later, but this includes 150 games, dual premiership player, and a Ken Farmer medalist. But that's not what I love about him. Now everyone knows and hears about Mark's professionalism. That his professionalism is far better than most AFL players, whether it's beetroot juice, shockwave treatment, or an ancient Chinese medicine. He has tried and done it all. He did whatever he could to best prepare himself. It's inspiring, and one of the reasons why Mark has been a fantastic leader of this football club. But something he doesn't get enough credit for is his persistence. Many players potentially retire or give up at the first hurdle, but Mark didn't. And here are just a couple examples. He missed out on success at Norwood, and rather than moving out country, he made the tough decision to move to Sturt. In 2017, he was dropped before the grand final, but prepared to play, and were fortunate enough he was given the opportunity as he played a significant role in us winning. He had severe hamstring issues which would usually end someone's season or career. Instead, he played every game. He got told in pre-season spots were tight, so he reinvented himself at the back end of his career as a wingman and played extremely well. I'm sure there are plenty more, but Mark doesn't complain. He works hard and always exceeds expectations. This is a player and a person I admire and respect, not only because of his accomplishments, but because of his character. But I know you didn't do this alone. Ash, I also want to thank you on behalf of the club for the sacrifices and commitment you have made. We all know Mark's professionalism has enabled him to get the most out of himself, but it's intense and you actually had to live with him. I want to wish you both all the very best in the future, and Beck and I look forward to catching up regularly. Now Zane. Zane will go down as one of the greatest footballers of Sandford and of the Sturt Football Club. It's hard to fathom how accomplished he is. It's also sometimes overlooked because how humble he is and how approachable he is. But that's why I love him. I've only been given a couple of minutes, so I can't go through all his accomplishments, but you name it, he's done it. When Zane first came to the club in 2014, we had a pre-season training session. I hadn't heard of him, but it was only my second year of senior footy, and the rest of the club were pretty excited. We had a drill, and I took a contested mark on him and ran away from him. I remember thinking, this bloke isn't that good. Clearly my initial impressions were correct. In that year, he won a McGarry Medal, PT Morton Medal, and Foss Williams Medal. Zane came to the club at a pretty hard time. In 2011 and 2012, the club finished bottom, and were nearly bought by the Crows to become the Crows reserves. We then also finished 7th in 2013. With Zane's arrival in 2014, we finished top 3 and the club had turned a corner. There was a culture shift. The reason I bring this up is to give those some context on how much of an impact Zane has had on this club, and to also highlight it has always been more than just Zane's talent. His selflessness and ability to put others first is why he is who he is. It's why I love him, and it's why this club has had success under his leadership. His accomplishments are incredible. That's not who he is, and he certainly did more for this club than winning a few awards. He has led this club from the unknown into success and into an incredible culture. But more than the footy club, it is hard to communicate how much he's impacted my life, many of the players' lives, and other lives around him. Zane has showed incredible strength to use his struggles to help those around him. He'll always put others first. Whatever or whenever you need him, he is there. We are all so much richer and better for having Zane in our lives. So thank you. But again, all of this is only made possible through the support and love of his family and of his beautiful soon-to-be wife, Brooke. Brooke, I also want to thank you for your commitment to Sturt, both through the support of Zane, but also the impact you have had on supporting other players' partners, and the impact you have had for our Sandford W team through playing and coaching. You have both impacted this club in a massive way. Beck and I are so thankful for your friendship, and we cannot wait to see what's in store for you next. To all the retirees on stage, we thank you, we love you, and we wish you all the very best in the future.